Welcome back, everyone, to part two of Connecticut Newsmakers. Our guest on this segment of the program is Scott Livingston. He is CEO of Horst Engineering, a company in East Hartford founded by actually his granddad back in 1946, basically in the area of aerospace, I guess, Scott, when you started off. And now you're sort of moving along toward the medical industry. That's quite a transition.
It is, it is. We've been in business for 63 years. The company was founded by my grandfather, a German immigrant. And, you know, we're a really progressive family business. Precision machining is our core competency, and we really have focused on the aerospace market for the past couple decades, but recently have made an expansion trying to develop more business in the medical device market, particularly orthopedic implants and surgical tooling.
I guess when you make that kind of a change, you're saying to yourself, this is where it's at and going to be at for quite some time.
Yeah, well, there's been a big shift. I mean, aerospace has been a strong industry in Connecticut for a lot of years, whether it's the commercial aerospace industry or the military sector. But healthcare, as we all know, is a market that's facing a lot of changes. Nevertheless, there's opportunities for us with precision machine components in that marketplace.
And what you've done in East Hartford is that you've instituted 128 solar panels at a pretty expensive cost. We're talking about $335,000. Is that because of the transition into medical?
Well, we have a plant in East Hartford that we've had since 1950, and we recently renovated another plant across the street. And this plant is going to be devoted primarily to our medical device manufacturing. And we opted when we renovated to really do a lot of green things with the building. And one of them was to put the solar array on the roof. So these panels produce about 50% of the power consumed at that location. And it's just a one way for us to demonstrate our environmental sustainability, but at the same time to kind of hedge against the cost of where electricity is headed.
I was going to say, what the difference does it make in the cost?
Well, I mean, we have a pretty significant electric bill every month. It's a major aspect of our cost of goods. But the good thing about the panels is producing about half the power is that it's reduced our consumption. It's net metering, so we contribute to the grid when we're not working on weekends. The panels have been really good, and it's really good for our employees to feel part of something positive. You know, the energy crunch last year that we all faced, it subsided a bit as this recession has taken its grip. But at the same time, you know, we're doing something that we feel is good for the future, long-term benefits of the company.
And we mentioned you have 75 employees here in Connecticut and another 20 in Mexico. It's important to them, did you notice, to make this change?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. For our employees, we are constantly focused on reducing our costs. And we're in a very competitive marketplace. Our customers have very high expectations in terms of not just the quality of the product, but the price of the product. And that's important for us. And when we have high costs related to the labor in Connecticut, we've got to look for every opportunity. So we share that with them. And our employees are pretty in tune with the direction that we're headed. Doing the solar project was one way to demonstrate to them that we're serious about our commitment to Connecticut, as well as our international expansion. The panels, you know, wouldn't have been possible without the contribution from the Connecticut Clean Energy Fund. We got a sizable grant that covered a significant portion of the total cost, and we were able to get that in prior to those funds being dried up, essentially.
Are you unique? Is your company unique in terms of basically smaller companies here in the state?
Well, I think that we're certainly unique in many ways, and I refer to our business practices as being quite progressive. There's a lot of businesses in our space in this state. It's really one of the things that's made this state a very good place to live. These are good-paying manufacturing jobs. There's very high-tech work environments, but it is a highly fragmented supply chain. There's many machine shops that do the types of things that we do. The thing that separates us is our legacy. We've been in business for 3 generations, as well as our progressive management model. And we're just really trying to grow, and we've grown to a point beyond where many small machine shops grow. We're really a high technology manufacturer.
Tough state in which to do business, some people say, and yet they also say that when you compare us with New Jersey and perhaps Massachusetts and New York, we're okay. But for a company like yours, and with the legislature bogged down on a budget right now, how concerned are you as to what, say, the taxing impact will be on small business?
Yeah, that's a good question, and you cited New Jersey and New York. We really put Connecticut at the top of the list. You know, we're here, we feel the pressures. As I mentioned before, we've got customers with extremely high expectations. These are large companies, global companies. We've had to deal with their pressures first and foremost while this recession has impacted everyone's sales volume. I'm fretting what's going to happen this fall. I mean, the decisions that are going to be made are certainly going to impact businesses. My concern is that they're disproportionately going to impact small and mid-sized businesses, and that's where really I care the most about. I understand that these large companies have made decisions that have impacted the overall economy, but it's the small and mid-sized businesses that have taken the brunt of the downturn. So any decisions made at the legislative level that would add cost to small and mid-sized businesses in Connecticut is only going to damage our prospects for recovery.
Scott, final point, would you recommend solar paneling for other businesses?
You know, I would. However, I just, you know, have to reinforce that solar is still in its early stages in terms of development. The cost is high. A lot of people looking for a pure return on investment are going to be disappointed if they can't factor in the government subsidies, whether it's at the state or federal level. But I encourage people to learn more about sustainable energy because the price is going to be going up eventually. It may be down this summer, but it's headed north again.
Well, congratulations on being in business now for 63 years, and glad to have you here in the state.
Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity to share our story.
Okay, Scott, thank you so much. Scott Livingston, who is the CEO of Horst Engineering in East Hartford, will continue in a moment.